Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's do some very fun crafting. Stay tuned. Here is today's project. Isn't this marvelous? It really is. It is such a cute little item, and it's very similar to the notebook that I made, but this time it's not a book. It's simply a desktop notepad complete with the pen, and on the back I have this little stand that helps it to sit up so it's more ergonomically friendly when you're trying to write. Instead of trying to write flat, you're able to write at an angle. So I found these pads on currentcatalog.com, and they had a whole bunch of patriotic themes. So to make the project, we are going to need some strips of chipboard. We are going to need 7 1x4" strips. We need 1 piece of 5x7. We need 1 5/8 by 9" strip of paper. We need a piece of paper that measures 9 by 1.5. We need 1 decorative piece that measures 6 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we need a decorative piece that measures 9 by 7. So we are going to start with the 9 by 7" piece. I have already placed double-sided tape on the back, and I am going to take this piece, lay it down, and try to get it centered. And then I'm going to flip this over, use my bone folder just to smooth everything out. Then I'll use my stylus, and I am going to go around the edges of this, and I'm basically using the chipboard as a guide, and I am driving a groove into my paper, and that should help my paper resist cracking as heavily as it would. This paper actually does have a little tendency to crack, so I am just going to massage it a little. So before I actually start doing my wraparound, I'll just do a little pounce where I've made those creases, and that's basically loosening up my fibers just a little more. So now I'm going to take my finger blade, and I am just going to miter cut on all 4 sides. And so now, once I have my mitering done, I am going to take my Reptile Glue, place it on my edge paper here, and then I'm just going to wrap it around. And I'll use my bone folder to get that stuck down. Then I'll use the bone folder just to go along the edge to get everything nice and smooth. And for those of you who are considering selling your crafts, these are the things that you really should be focused on. You need to make sure that everything is crisp and tight and nice looking. So you want to take that extra time to get everything just right, because it's your name, your reputation, and your brand. Alright guys, so once we have the paper wrapped around the back, we're going to flip it over, and then we need to bring in the 9 by 1.5" piece, and I am going to remove my double-sided tape. And where you place this is completely up to you. I am going to try to place this in the middle. I'm going to hold it up just so that I can look at it. Then I'll flip this over, and we're just going to wrap it around just like this. I'm going to use my bone folder again to get it stuck down and to get those edges right. So now that we have this, I am going to take my 3/4 inch by 9" scrap piece, and I am just going to place some glue on a portion of it, not all of it, because I'm not gluing it all down right now. So I am going to take this, put it in the middle, Then wrap it around to the back, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out one of my cute little pads, and I think I'm going to go with this one because it has those vibrant red, white, and blue colors in it. And I'm going to put that down where I want it. And when you're gluing this down, we're only gluing it about halfway, because when we place the pad on top of it, we need to have this raised up so that we can put the pen down. Now, this is going to not sit well with some of you, but I am going to make this a one and done, and I'm going to explain why. Because this is a seasonal pad, and in all likelihood, by the end of the season, we've moved on to another season. So if you want to make these for sale, try making them in 4 different seasons: Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the 4th of July. And that way you have enough paper on this padding that a one and done is more than acceptable. But if you want to make yours refillable, by all means just make adjustments. Don't glue this down, and you can drive your pad behind it. So now that I have this like this, I am going to take my pad, take some glue, put it on the back of my one and done. And yes guys, I do go through a lot of trouble for my one and dones because I think that they are just as important as a refillable. I think the look on all of our projects should be the same no matter how many uses we're going to get from that project. So all I'm doing is taking my bone folder, going on that back page, getting that glue stuck down. So now I am going to bring in my pen, and I'm going to take it, place it down wherever I want it, and as far down as I want it. And I am going to make my loop extremely tight. So once I have it where I think I want it to be, I am going to drive my first hole through. And I am using my paper piercer to go through the thickness of that chipboard. Then I have my little silver mini brads. I'm going to place one in and then just open it up on the back side here and get it stuck down. Now I'll bring in my pen, put it back down, decide where I want it, make sure that it's nice and tight because I don't want that pen flopping around at all. I want it to look oh so beautiful. So now that I've got it down, I am simply going to find where I want to punch my hole, drive it through, and keeping the pen where it is, I am going to take this little brad and put it in. So now you can see that I have a very snug fit for my pen. Then I am going to flip this over, and I'll go ahead and take out the pen so I can lay it down flat. I am going to flip that over, open this up, then I'll use my glue on this piece, bring it around, fold it over, use my bone folder to get that nice and stuck. And so now I can take my pen, put it through my loop, and guys, that pen is not going anywhere. It's not moving from side to side. It will not go anywhere. And then we've got the cuteness that the brads bring to this project. So now that we have this done, I'm going to remove the pen again because I need to put some tape on the back side. And here's how I am going to lay down my tape. So I am going to take my tape, and basically I'm putting it down so that I can cover this exposed chipboard. Okay, so now that I have my chipboard covered in tape, I am going to take my 6 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, place my glue all around the edges, and then we're going to get this stuck down. So now that I have my glue on here, I am going to take this, put it down, trying to center it as best I can. Then I'll use my paper towel to get everything nice and stuck. Then I'm going to take my bone folder, drive my glue out towards the edges because I don't want those coming up. And now we're almost in the home stretch. So we need to bring in our 1 by 4 inch pieces, and I have already done a portion of them. So all I'm doing is taking these pieces, adding glue, and just stacking them. And I'm stacking them 7 high because that's the height that works for me when I am trying to write notes on that notepad. So all I'm doing is adding glue. I'll get this stuck. And I don't know if you guys remember those sugar wafers. That's what this reminds me of, those pink sugar wafers that were really nothing but straight sugar. That reminds me of a sugar wafer. So then I'm going to place glue on this one, and it'll be number 7 going on my stack. And I'll use my bone folder just to make sure that everything is nice and stuck. Now that we have this, if you want it, you could just put it on the back like this without adding any decorative paper to it. But because I have scrap, I am going to go ahead and just cover my paper. So all I'm doing now is laying it down and just cutting off how much I need. So here's what I'm going to do first. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to place some glue on one side of the wafer. Then I am going to take this, get it as close to the end as I can, stand it up, and I'll just use my bone folder to get that nice and stuck down. Then when I think it's stuck, I am simply going to do a wraparound just like this. So now I'll need to add some glue to the inside. You can probably come up with a better way of doing this, but this works for me. So now I'll take this and I'm going to put this down, use my paper towel just to kind of clean up some of that glue. Then I'll flip it over and get it stuck. And then I'll just go over that a little bit to help it stick even more. So now all I need to do is take some glue, put it on this piece here, and just wrap it around. Now you can cut this little piece here off if you want, but I think what I'm going to do is I am simply going to angle in just a little bit, add some glue, and just go ahead and wrap it around because it's not going to hurt anything. This is actually going to be on the bottom. Alright, so I'll bring my board back in, and this part is pretty much up to you. It is how far down do you want yours to come, and for me, I think I am going to put it right there. So on this one, I have it closer to the top, so I think I'll do the same thing with that because that actually worked well with my writing hand. So I am going to place just a little glue on this, and I'm going to put it down right here. And I flipped it over, and I'm just sort of pressing that into place. So then I'll use my bone folder to really get everything nice and stuck. And now I'll just tuck my pen back into the loop, and we have our second beautiful, beautiful little desktop notepad. I think that these are just absolutely adorable, and as you can see, Very easy to make. We don't always have to put our notepads into folders. We can make them so that they sit out on the desk, and this is beautiful, guys. It's absolutely fabulous. So I hope that you have liked this fun, easy red, white, and blue project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.